And welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about how to do product photography at home. A lot of you guys have asked me on Instagram how I shoot my photos and edit them. So we're going to go through each steps of how I shoot the photos at home. And then after we shoot it together, we're going to go through the process of how I edit them on Lightroom. So even if you have zero experience on product photography, I'm sure if you go through all the steps with me, you're going to be able to shoot a decent lifestyle product photography in your own bedroom. So let's get right to it. So step 1, find a place in your home right near the window. Using the natural light is a great way to shoot lifestyle product photography with no budget. I personally used our guest room and shoot everything on the corner side of the bed because I love motivating the light source from the right side on my product photos. Step 2, depending on the time of the day, the sunlight might be too bright or dark for your photos. So I recommend adjusting the blinds or white curtain to shape the light in the way you want them to be. I personally like moody photos, so I prefer to shoot with less light through the window. Step 3, try to find any object that could bring texture to the background of your photos. I personally go through me and my wife's closet to use different types of shirts or sweaters for a variety of colors and texture through fabric materials. Don't forget to clean them up after if you don't want any trouble with the family members though. Step 4, go through your texture material and spread them wide on the surface you're deciding to shoot nearby the window. I personally try multiple colors and textures to see how my products look with the background that I've chosen. Step 5 is the most delicate part of all steps. Start laying down your products on the textured background you have chosen and play around with the placements. Sometimes it's nice to put the products in an organized manner to have that clean look, but if you want them to look more natural, you can break the alignment and try different angles. Sometimes I would place a small object behind the main product to elevate them away from other props to bring some depth into the scene. You can also try to use props that are similar color or texture to make some pattern in your photos as well. Here I have decided to use my leather wallet and phone case on each side of the corner for better composition. If you don't have enough props to fill the photo, don't worry. You can just use your hand in the empty spots to give depth and make the photo look more natural as well. But try avoiding the usage of your hands too much, or else your Instagram grid will be filled with photos that has hands everywhere. Alright, let's get to editing. So now, first thing I need to do is crop the image to 8.5 by 11 because that fits the Instagram grid pretty well. And then next step, I'll be straightening the photo so that I would have a clean, nice, centered composition. That looks good. Actually, let's raise that up a little bit more. Alright, that looks good. And the next step, I like to go to point and curve and choose the RGB section here. And what I do is in all RGB, red, green, blue, I like to put an S-curve. Alright, so once I'm done that, I go to the basic section, raise up that exposure because it's too bright, lower the highlight because it's blown out. And then I'm gonna crank up the shadows a bit because it's way too dark. There we go. Lower the white because that knife is popping out too much. Raise the blacks and yeah, we're getting there. Now it's too yellow, so let's probably make it a little bit cooler. But the photo's a little bit too dark right now, so we'll probably raise the shadow a bit and crank up that black. Lower a little bit. There we go, and make it a little bit more warmer. And now my finger and my knuckles are super red and orangey, so let's change the hue. Because the main piece is the knife. The hero of today's photo is the knife here, so we don't want our fingers or our hands or different props to be distracting it. Let's lower the saturation to blend into the rest of the fingers. I don't know why my knuckles are so red, man. Okay, so lower the luminance, saturation hue. I think it's pretty good now. So the next step is to go and click on this linear gradient because the light source right now is coming from the right top, and I want to amplify that a little bit more to give that spotlight look, as you see. So I'm gonna make the left top corner darker and the right bottom corner a little bit more darker as well. And that really amplifies the light source that is hitting us from the window on the top right. And now it looks like a light is passing through. And I can basically copy paste this to any kind of photos that were taken in the same location, but obviously you gotta change the color a little bit. It's too cold, so make it a little bit warmer. Made it a little too warm, but I'll get back to that. Cut it to 8.511 so it matched the Instagram grid, and then change the colors so that it would actually look like the proper product. When you're doing product photography, most of the time it's important that you represent the color that the manufacturer actually chose. In real life, this has a olive green look to it, so I'm gonna try to match it and make it look as similar as possible, and change the green in the background so that the watch will pop a little bit more. There we go. Let's make it a little bit colder because it was too warm. Now do the same thing. Go to linear gradient and then amplify that light source to make it look like a spotlight. I mean, that's really my taste, but what the point here is to actually just give a little bit more dramatic look to the light source that you have. Your light could be coming from the left side, then do the opposite way, but I like to do it from the right side in this way. And again, I can basically copy paste this same setting to the same photo. Let's flip that over and make it into 8.5 by 11 for the Instagram. Center it a little bit. That looks good. Oh, there's a little piece in the bottom right, so let's cut that out a little bit more. Let's lower the saturation a little bit because it's too saturated now. Make it more moody, you know? There we go. And the same thing, linear gradient to just make your light source a little bit more dramatic. Darken the left top and the right bottom. Now it looks like a spotlight. And that is how I edit all my photos. And that's how I shoot and edit my photos. So thankfully, I didn't learn this all by myself or developed it. I actually wanted to challenge myself to learn new things during the pandemic time. And when I saw my friend Kirk, you can follow him here. He's amazing at product photography and just generally all photography. So when I saw his grid on the Instagram, I asked him, oh, those are my kids if you hear the stumping and everything. When I saw his Instagram, I was thinking, man, I want to challenge myself to learn to do photography like that. So I reached out to him and said, hey, can you come over to my studio so you can teach me how to do it? So we one shot around neighborhood, and also he came over to my studio to teach me a bunch of stuff. So what you learned today is actually a small portion of the tips that Kirk gave me. And not only he teaches me on how to do photography, but he also teaches me on how to edit my YouTube videos, how to upload them, when to upload them, and just generally he is like my social media coach, and he's the master Jedi of photography and videography for me. So I definitely learned a lot from him. So thank you so much, Kirk, for teaching me. So I hope you guys liked today's video. If you guys would like to see more content like this and support my journey on YouTube, which I just recently started, please smash that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.